Hello yogis, Kathy here. Welcome to another yoga video. As the title may have suggested, this is going to be a peak posture yoga video. We're building up to King Pigeon pose, a very expressive and deep back bend in the yoga practice. This will be a multi-level class, so something for everyone. Even if you don't end up peaking to the final posture, I'm going to give you lots of prep postures that you can use to help build and deepen your back bend practice, lengthen the spine, open the shoulders, stretch the hamstrings, hip flexors, quads. So even if you don't end up getting to the final posture, you'll still get a good stretch and exercise. A lot of the exercises we're going to be practicing with will involve using a wall, so make sure you have some wall space, as well as a strap and a block. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the section below to let me know how it went for you. If there's anything else you want to practice or work on, let me know. Remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to receive more videos just like this from my channel. When you're ready, let's get started. So let's begin by making our way onto our mats. We're going to start in a supportive fish pose. So as you can see here, I have my yoga wheel, which is going to go right up in between my shoulder blades, supporting my upper back. You can use 2 blocks or a bolster if you like. So I'm just going to give a gentle roll, allowing the yoga wheel to settle in, supporting my spine. I'm keeping my hips on the ground. So you're going to keep the hips on the floor, whether you're using blocks or a bolster. And then we're going to lean back, resting the head on top of the wheel or your bolster or your blocks. You can walk the feet out, pointing the toes, or bring the soles fit together into butterfly shape. So let's take a deep breath in, stretch the arms up overhead. We're going to grab for opposite elbows and slowly lean back, dropping the head down, reaching the arms back and behind. Taking a few deep breaths to open up through the chest, and we'll switch sides, reaching the arms up, breathe in. Exhale, opposite elbows, reach back, allowing the elbows to drop down towards the floor behind you. And take a few deep breaths to slow and lengthen each inhale and exhale here. And we'll release, bring the hands down, gently close the knees up, bring it back into center, and we'll roll over onto one side or come off your prop, push that aside. Now let's come down onto our backs, hug the knees in towards your chest, gently rock from side to side, and we'll begin to rock up and down the length of our spine, making our way up. With ankles crossed, flip over, and let's come onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. Hips over the knees, shoulder, elbows, wrists aligned together. Taking a deep breath in, we're going to drop belly, lift the chest, gaze up and forwards. As you exhale, tuck the chin in, tailbone tucks under, around through the back. Inhale, drop the chest, lift the gaze, and exhale, spinal flexion. Taking a few breaths like this, making sure to keep the arms and legs steady, isolating the movement in the spine. And last one. Now let's come back into center. We're going to stay on our hands and knees and drop down into puppy pose. So we're going to keep our shoulders reaching forward, hips stay stacked over the knees. Continue to walk the hands out in front, slowly dropping the chest down towards the floor. Keeping hips stacked over the knees, breathing into the upper chest, upper back. Finding length through the spine, continue to drop the heart down towards the floor. One more breath. And slowly release, rock forward, come up. We're going to tuck the toes under. Find ourselves into a forearm plank. Shifting forwards and back on your toes, stretch out the calf muscles a few times. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you push back. And we'll lower ourselves all the way down onto the ground. We're going to keep our right ear down on the floor. Right arm extends out to the side, stretching into our shoulders. Give yourself a push. Coming up onto the right side of the body. Stay here, or we take our top leg, flip it up and back, stretch into our shoulders. Also a nice spinal twist. So approach this posture with a little bit of space, allowing your body to get a little bit deeper with every breath. So try not to go to 100% right away. Option, if you're balanced, take your top hand, reach it back, resting onto the sacrum. Next step, if you can go even deeper, we're going to bend the opposite leg. So bending the right leg, so both knees will be bent. Continue to turn the hip upwards towards the sky, and at the same time keeping the shoulder and the right ear on the floor. So of course there's many levels to this posture. Choose the one that's best for you. And lastly, if you like to interlace the fingers behind you, go ahead and stretch and reach. 3 more breaths. Remember to support the head and neck. If you need a block underneath your right ear, please slide a bit of support for the head and shoulders. Alright, let's slowly release, unbind, gently roll back onto your belly, and let's try the other side. So bring the left ear, left arm to the floor, and we'll begin to use our right hand to give yourself a push, coming onto the left side of the body. Bending the top knee if you like. Level 1. Level 2, we bend the other knee. So bring both knees into flexion, encouraging the hips to face upwards as you continue to press the shoulder and the head down towards the floor. Inhale the top arm up. Maybe we take a half bind, place the right hand towards the sacrum, or we interlace the fingers behind our backs. So finding your position here in the shoulder stretch. Lots of levels to play with. Make sure we're not pushing our bodies too much. You should be able to breathe comfortably wherever you are. 3 more deep breaths. And gently exhale, release your bind, release your feet, and we'll slowly roll back down onto our belly. And we'll bring our hands underneath the shoulders, take an inhale, lift up into cobra. And exhale, release, curl the toes under, lift our hips up and back. Coming into our first downwards facing dog. From our downwards facing dog, let's take an inhale, right leg sweeps up high. Dropping the chest, continue to point and lift the toes. As you exhale, bend the knee, allow the hip to open, right hip stacks on top of left. Allowing the weight of the foot to gently pull the hip open. Keep pressing evenly down through your hands. Inhale, look forward. We'll step the right foot to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee down. Inhale, let's rise, coming up into a low lunge. So remember to keep the front knee over the ankle, stacking the joints. 3 deep breaths. Nice and easy stretch to start. Lengthening out through our left hip flexors. And we'll release, bring the hands down to the ground, curl the toe, lift the knee, step it back, downwards facing dog. Take the hips side to side. On the next breath in, left leg sweeps up. Inhale, lift left leg up high. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Allowing the rotation to come from the torso, so from the hip joint. Keeping our upper body fairly square towards the floor. Weight is even between both hands. Inhale, come forward, step that foot to the top of the mat. Back knee drops down onto the ground, left toes forward, right knee down. Keeping the chest lifted, breathe in. And exhale, relax the shoulders. Sending your breath all the way to the right hip flexors. And release. So take the hands down, curl the toe, lift the knee, step all the way to the top of the mat. We'll bring the big toes together, take a deep breath in, reverse swan dive, come all the way up, inhale all the way into mountain pose, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a deep breath in. This time we're going to press the hips forward, come to a standing back bend, reaching the arms up and back, gentle back bend. Exhale, we swan dive towards the floor. Inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands down. We're going to step back into a high plank. Let's come down onto our forearms, walking it down into a dolphin plank. Make sure your hips are coming down low. Keep the body parallel to your mat. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees, thigh, belly comes down to the floor, finding ourselves in a sphinx pose. So pressing the forearms down, dragging the hands back. Find a bit of traction to allow the chest to pull forward, gaze up. You can stay active through your glutes, through the legs. Keep pointing the toes back. And exhale, we release. We'll take the hands a little bit wider than the mat. Breathing and coming up onto your fingertips into cobra. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we lower. Breathing, moving with your breath. Inhale to lift. Bring the belly button off the mat if you can. Exhale, we slowly slinky back down. 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last 2. As you come up, option to bend your knees, maybe look up. Encouraging the head to maybe eventually touch the toes. Just moving in that general direction. And exhale all the way down. Hands underneath the shoulders. You can inhale, press up and back. Exhale, downwards facing. Looking forward, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, gentle fold. Reverse swan dive as you come up. Optional, standing back bend to the top of the mat. And exhale, hands to heart center. A little bit faster this time. Inhale, reach up. Back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Step or hop back. High plank. Walk it down onto your forearms. Forearm plank. Breathing here. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees, thighs, belly down on the floor. 3 breath in sphinx pose. Lifting up through the chest. Press down through the forearms. Relax shoulders. And let's release. Take the hands out wide up onto your fingertips. 3 rounds of cobra. Inhale, lifting the chest. Gaze up. Exhale, slinky back down. Inhale, lift. Option to bend the knees, point the toes. Exhale, lower. Last time. And slinky back down to the floor. Take the hands underneath, curl the toes. Downwards facing dog. Shake it out, pedal out the feet. Gaze forward, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, let's look forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Reverse, come all the way back up. Optional back bend, send the hips forward. Reach up and back. And exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to grab for our block and just make sure it's nearby. Place it near the top of your mat. Let's take a deep breath in, reaching the arms up. As we exhale, we're going to swan dive forward. Taking a breath in, look forward, halfway lift. As we exhale, we're going to step our left foot back, keeping the right toes on the ground, coming up into a low lunge. So bending into your front knee, allowing the back hip to lower. Taking a few breaths here, finding your balance. We're going to take an inhale, reach the arms up. As we exhale, interlace the fingers. We're going to look up, keep pressing the hips forward, start to trace a line towards the back wall. Finding lift through your rib cage, so we don't want to be bending into our low backs. So always think lifting up on the inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we deepen the posture. and returning back into center. We're going to place the block down onto the floor. So if that was a little bit intense for you, you can try to work with that posture one more time without the block. If you feel like you can go up a notch, we're going to place the block underneath our right foot. So finding balance, let's come up. A few deep breaths into the hips, nice and easy. Always working with the breath, allowing the breath to help relax our body. So the more relaxed our muscles are, the more malleable and limber we will be in the postures. So once you're ready, you can stay here, take 3 breaths. Or we take an inhale and start to trace the fingers towards the back of the wall. So remember, on the inhale, we're lifting up through the rib cage, lifting up through the crown, the head, long spine. And on the exhale, we start to tip forward, hips pressing towards the front of the mat. And we try to create that rainbow shape through the mid and upper back. So ready? Inhale, let's take the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, bend. And slowly release, coming back into center. Let's step off the block. Place it off to the side. Taking your left hand down, inhale, easy twist. As we exhale, we point the right fingertips back towards our left toes. Option to bend the back knee, grabbing for the top of the foot. Your right foot can splay out to the side if that feels okay. Your knee is going to drop over to the side. And we're just going to give ourselves a quad stretch, drawing the heel in towards our sit bones. One more breath. And let's release. Gently bring that down. Heel toe the right foot to the center of the mat. Shifting back, half splits. So you can stay on your fingertips or onto a block. Right toes are flexed and pointing up. Taking a breath in, look forward. Exhale, we start to bow. Keeping the spine long. Nice gentle counter stretch. Not too much because we are still working on bending backwards. So we're still needing to keep the spine in extension. This is a nice stretch just for the backs of our legs. Not bowing all the way down quite yet. And let's release. Inhale, come to the top of the mat. Hands down, curl the toe, lift the knees. We'll step back into our high plank. Dropping down onto our forearm. Let's go through a modified vinyasa. Holding it here, push the heels back, drop the body for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees, thighs, belly come down towards the ground. Now you can stay here, take 3 breaths in Sphinx pose, so on our forearms, or we can come up into seal. So our hands are going to walk to the edges of the mat. Hands are turning out. And take an inhale, look up. And as we exhale, we relax the shoulders. Three breaths. In Sphinx or seal, you can always walk the hands in closer. If you like to go deeper, so inhale, press down into the palms. As we exhale, relax the hips, relax the shoulders. And release all the way down to the ground. Curl the toe, lift the knees. Exhale, downwards facing. And we'll step the left foot to the top of the mat. Dropping the back knee down onto the floor. Let's do the other side. So take a few breaths here just to set up. Front knee over the ankle. Chest stays lifted. Shoulders relaxed, pulling down. Finding balance. When you're ready, let's take our hands up, interlace the fingers, point through the index finger. So we're lengthening, extending through the elbows, lifting our torso, our spine as high as we can, finding length, creating space in between the vertebrae. Taking a deep breath in here. On the exhale, we bend. And slowly release, come back to center. We're going to repeat that one more time. So you can do the same thing that we just did, or if there's room to go a little bit more, we're going to place our foot on top of the block. So coming into a higher modified low lunge position. So set yourself up, maintain the integrity of the alignment, so knee still over the ankle. We're going to start with a few breaths, so 3 deep breaths. Just to get settled in, notice how it feels in our hip flexors, noticing if we're holding onto any tension in our body, maybe in the legs or in the quads. First, settle our breath. And then when you're ready, take the arms up. Remember to lengthen and lift as you breathe in. And then when you press the hips forward, maintain that arch, that rainbow shape through the mid and upper back as we start to trace the fingers behind us. So inhale, take the hands up. Option to reverse the way you're interlacing your fingers. And exhale, bend. Let's come up slowly. Take the hands down onto the ground. Step off the block. Place that off to the side. Bring your right hand down to the inside. Easy twist. From your easy twist, we're going to drop open the knee if that feels okay. Exhale, reach the hand back. Maybe bend the back knee, catching the top of the foot. Slowly draw the heel in if you're in a bind. Bring the heel in closer towards the sit bones. And one more breath. And let's gently release. Bring the foot back into center. We're going to shift back into our half splits. So fingertips on the floor or onto blocks, framing the front foot. We're going to pull the sit bones back. Dorsiflex through the ankle, toes pointing up, heels digging into the floor. Inhale, we look forward. Exhale, nice gentle fold. So we're looking for a slight counter stretch, but not all the way down because we're still working on progressing our back bends, working on spinal extension, keeping the focus of this stretch in the backs of our legs. And let's look forward, walking the hands to the top of the mat, stepping back into our downward facing dog. Let's take a flow here. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, we come down into our modified plank, dolphin. Knees, thighs, belly down onto the ground. So stay in sphinx pose or we walk our hands to the edges. Fingers splaying out. Take an inhale. Closer your hands are, the more challenging it is. We straighten up through the elbows and exhale, relax the hips, relax the shoulders. 3 deep breaths. Soften the glutes, soften the knees and toes behind you. And we release down to the ground, hands underneath the shoulders, push up and come back. Downwards facing dog, take 3 breaths here. Finding balance, catching your breath. And on the next breath in, let's take our right leg up. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hips. Now this time we're going to flip all the way around to wild thing. You can stay in our 3-legged dog. Otherwise, we drop our right foot behind. Weight is in our left hand, left foot pressing up, lifting the chest. Pressing our feet down, driving the hips as high as you can. Top hand actively reaches up and overhead. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, stepping it forward. Coming up onto fingertips, praying for high lunge. When you're ready, finding your balance. Inhale, we take the arms up. And exhale, sinking the hips down. So similar to our low lunge where our back knee is on the ground, we want to make sure our knee is directly over the ankles. Keeping your toes digging into the floor. Pressing our back heel towards the back wall. So lifting up that left knee. Exhale, press the heels back. Now stretch our shoulders a little bit here. We're going to do some windmills with our cow face arms. So sweep the bottom hand. Right elbow will bend, reaching up. Left hand will come behind, trying to touch the fingers together. Inhale, release the arms, switching sides. Left hand at the bottom, right arm at the top. So now the goal isn't to touch the hands together. We're just rotating gently through the shoulder joints. Inhale, lift. Exhale, alternating side to side. And slowly release, taking your hand down to the floor. Inhale, easy twist. And let's release, bring the hand down to the ground. Looking forward, we're going to step up onto that right leg. Slowly lift the back leg as high as you can. Hands can come to the floor onto a block for standing splits. Again, stretching into the hamstrings. If you can, grabbing onto the ankle with one hand, maybe both hands if you have the balance. And take a big step back. Inhale, coming back up into our high crescent lunge. I'm going to interlace the fingers, so similar to what we did on our knees. Inhale, we're going to lift up through the torso. Exhale, start to trace the fingers back. And exhale, release hands down, step it back. Optional flow, we come down onto our forearms. Press the heels back, knees, thighs, belly to the floor. Sphinx pose or seal pose. Inhale, lift up. 3 deep breaths. And exhale, hands underneath the shoulders, up and back, downwards facing dog. Now let's try the other side. Take your left leg up. Inhale, 3-legged. Open up the hip. Left knee bends. Left hip stacks on top of right. Stay here. We flip all the way around, pressing into our feet. Inhale, wild thing. Hips are pressing, driving upwards. Top hand reaching up and behind. And coming back into center. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale, step it through. Find your way up into a high crescent lunge. From our high crescent lunge, we're going to do our shoulder windmills, alternating side to side. So let's take an inhale, bending through the left elbow, reaching up over our shoulders. The right hand will bend underneath, reaching behind. And release. Inhale, open up the arms. Exhale, switching sides. So again, focusing on the rotational movement of the shoulder joint. Don't worry so much about touching the fingers behind your back. If you can, go ahead and grab the fingertips for an extra stretch. One more rotation. And slowly we release. Windmill the hand down to the ground. Right hand to the floor. Easy twist. Open up the chest. And exhale, we release, coming up to our standing splits, hands onto the floor in front of your foot. We're going to hop up onto that left leg. Right leg comes up high. Finding balance, maybe grabbing for one ankle. Maybe both hand reaches. Taking both hands to the ankle and off the floor. And let's release, big step back, coming up, taking a breath in. We're going to do the same things we did on our knees in our low lunge. So in our standing crescent lunge, we're going to take our back bend. So inhale, let's reach up through the fingers. Exhale, press the hips forward as we trace the fingertips back. And we'll release. Inhale, come back to center, stepping back. Let's go through our flow. High plank, lowering down onto forearms. Pressing the heels back. Bring the knees down to the ground. Thighs, belly, inhale through. Sphinx pose. Or take the hands out. Press it up into our seal pose. Stretching into the front of the body. Open up through the chest. And exhale, release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press up and back. 3 breaths. And downwards facing dog. Okay, so we're going to come and set up near a flat surface with a wall. We're going to start by stretching our quads a little bit more. So walking your left foot as close to the wall as you can. We'll come up into a modified lunge. So coming up, finding balance. We're going to press the top of our left foot into the wall. So stay here, see how that feels in the quads and the hip flexors. If you can go a little bit deeper, we're going to walk ourselves closer. So we're going to bend the knees, so see the degree of opening through the knee joint. It's going to get closer, the more challenging, more difficult to stretch. So we're going to come up, lean back, see if you can get your back to touch the wall. Taking 3 deep breaths. Breathing into the quad. And let's release. Coming back, we're going to create a bit more space. Keep that left foot touching the wall. Allowing the hips to sink down a little bit more. Alright, let's take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. On the exhale, we're going to lean back, look for the wall, so use your fingertips touching the wall. And we're going to see if we can push ourselves away. So when you're touching, your elbows are going to be bent, and we want to push the wall away. Bring the elbow from a flexion into full extension. If you can get your full palms on the back of the wall, even better. So let's breathe in, reaching up, fingers or palms. Exhale, we push the wall. Push, push, push. And slowly release, coming back into center. One more stretch, let's grab our strap. So we're going to place the strap around our foot. Make sure you have a good hold. So with our strap, we're going to reach our hands up overhead. Give yourself as much slack as you need in the strap. And we're just going to do the same thing. Find a bend. Look up and back. Start to walk your hands down the strap. Inhale, push the wall away. And exhale, walk the hands down. And we'll slowly release. Now let's try the other side. So let's bring our left foot forward. This time our right knee will bend. So walk yourself as close to the wall as you can. Bring that foot up. Take a second to find your balance. And we'll allow the hips to sink down. Take a few easy breaths. See how it feels in your hip flexors. If there's room to go deeper, we walk the foot in closer. Allow the torso to come up. Maybe we lean back against the wall. Finding balance and a nice stretch through the quads. And let's release. Walk yourself forward. Bring that left foot a little bit more in front. So allowing your back knee to extend. Once your balance is, rise back up onto our knees. And we'll reach for the wall. So with your fingertips or palms, we're going to press the wall away. Let's take a deep breath in. Reach up. Look for the wall. Extend your elbows. And push. And let's release, coming back into center, grabbing for your strap now. So we're going to use the strap to help us arch through our spine and then slowly walk down the length of the strap to eventually touching our toes behind us. So when you're ready, reaching the straps up overhead, taking a deep breath in, exhale, we bend. Walking the hands down. And gently release. And let's release the strap. Bring the feet in. And we'll make our way back onto our mats. All right, let's make our way into downwards facing dog. Shifting side to side, we'll take the left leg up into three-legged dog. Look forward, come into pigeon pose. So bring your knee behind the wrist, shift the right leg as far back as you can. Squaring up the hips, so try to keep your hips from tilting over to the left side. Squaring up, placing a block or a towel underneath the left side of the hips to balance. So we're just stretching into our hips and our hip flexors a bit more before we come into our peak posture in King Pigeon. And let's slowly release. So I like to bring my foot in close towards me, so closing up this front knee joint for better balance. You can keep it horizontal and parallel to the top edge of the mat if you have hip flexibility and balance. Otherwise, close the knee, bring the foot in. We're going to start with a mermaid pose. So bend the back knee. Let's reach up, top of the foot. Gently draw the heel in towards the sit bones. We're going to do that a few times. So inhale, extend. Exhale, bring that foot in. And from here, you can take your elbow, hooking that foot in, reaching top arm up, interlacing the fingers, finding your mermaid bind. Taking the gaze up. And we'll slowly release. Grabbing for your strap. We're going to loop the strap around our foot. Make sure you have enough length in the strap. So we're going to do some side to side rotation movements. So with your left hand, we're going to grab onto the strap. Okay, so left hand, right foot connected by the strap. On the inhale, we're going to reach all the way up towards the other side and bring it overhead and back. So do this a few times. Get a feel of where it feels tight in our shoulders. And with each revolution, you're going to walk the hand down a little bit more. And then closer and closer towards the foot. Mindful breathing into the shoulders. And coming back into center, we're going to reach our right arm up as we exhale, reaching the hands behind. So again, thinking about the exercise we did at the wall, we want to lift up through our sternum, through our rib cage. On the exhale, we're going to press forward, finding that arch shape through the upper mid back and reaching the hands behind. So deep breath in and exhale. Walking the hands back, maybe grabbing onto the toes. And let's gently release. And we'll switch and try the other side. Okay, stepping back nice and slowly into downwards facing. Take the hips side to side. And we'll step the right foot forward. Right knee behind the ankles. We're going to start with just a regular pigeon. So you want to square off our shin to the top edge of the mat. Try not to let your hips tilt too much to the right side. Square it up. Place a block or a piece of towel underneath your right sit bones to keep the hips leveled. We're going to sit here nice and tall. 3 deep breaths into the hips. And slowly release. So you can keep your shin parallel, knee extended, or I'm going to close my knee in for better balance. And then reaching up, bending through the back leg, grabbing for the top of the foot. We're going to draw the heel in towards the sit bones. So a few times, extend, inhale, kick the leg back, exhale, bring it in. A few more times. And from here, we can come into mermaid pose. Bring the foot to the elbow crease. Inhale the top arm up, reaching up and behind, maybe connecting the fingers. Keep your chest tall, looking up. And we release. Bring the hands down, grabbing for your strap. So we're going to loop the strap around the top of the foot and make sure you have enough space here to allow your shoulders to rotate side to side. So we're going to take our strap opposite hand to foot. Your left hand is going to come out for balance. So inhale, we take the arm up overhead towards the other side. Deep breath in. As we exhale, we bring the arm across, back to the left. Inhale, reach up towards the right, and exhale across. So with every revolution, we're going to try and walk our hands down the strap a little bit more. Moving slowly here with intention. Try not to rush the rotation, focusing on the movement in our shoulder joint. Bring the hand closer and closer each time towards the foot. And now coming to the center, we're going to try and do a reach back. So finding your balance, make sure your hips are steady. Inhale, lifting the left arm up. Exhale, we're going to walk our hands down the strap, at the same time pressing the chest forward. Lengthening through the spine with the breath in. Maybe reaching for the toes. And slowly release, coming back into center. Putting the strap off to the side. Gently step back. Let's come into child's pose. Bring the big toes together, knees together. Exhale, nice and slowly press the hips back. Hips towards the heels first. And then let's make our way down onto our forearms. Head comes down, gentle counter stretch. Let's walk our hands towards the right corner of the mat. Stretching out the obliques, the QL muscles. And over to the left side. And gently come back into center. Let's inhale up, finding our table position. We'll do a few cat and cows here to release the back bends. Moving nice and slow. And last one. Coming into center, we'll walk the right knee behind the left. So crisscross at the knees, and I'm going to walk back and take a seat in cow face pose. So stacking the knees, if this is uncomfortable, we're going to release the bottom leg forward and stack the knee on top of the thigh. But if you can, try to keep the knees stacked together. From our cow face pose, we'll take an inhale, reach the arms out to the side. Exhale, lateral bend. Pressing into your fingers, into the palms, keep the chest open, reaching top arm up. And exhale, we sweep forward all the way to the front on your fingertips or down onto your forearms. Try to bow forward, finding some release. And walking up, taking your hand over towards the left side. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, we find a bend on your fingers or come down onto your forearms. Lean the chest back, active fingertips. And let's come all the way up into center. You're gonna rock forward, release the knees. And we're going to bring the left knee behind the right this time. Push yourself all the way back, sitting up in cow face pose. Remember, bottom leg can kick out if it's more comfortable. But if you can, try to keep both knees stacked, toes pointing out in opposite directions. Finding balance, both sit bones on the ground. We'll take a deep inhale, reach the arms out. On the exhale, we're going to take a twist over towards the right side. Pressing down into the hands, lift the chest as you breathe in, and exhale, we twist. Release, coming back into center. Another forward fold, walk the hands down, fingertips or palms. Bowing forward, allowing the head to get a little heavy, dropping chin down towards the chest. And coming back up slowly, breathe in, take the arms out, twisting over towards the left side this time. Breathing in, sit tall. Exhale, we twist and deepen. Exhale, so bring the head back into center. Let's crawl forward, back into table. Release the feet, and let's take a seat. Sweep the legs out in front. Give them a shake. We're going to flex the ankles, taking your piece of middle finger, grabbing onto the big toe. If you need a strap, looping it around the arches of the feet. Let's walk the sit bones back, walking the flesh out underneath our sit bones. Taking a breath in, lift the chest. Exhale, we begin to bow and fold nice and easy. And releasing the direction, walking it up slowly. Let's pull the knees in towards our chest and we'll come down onto the floor. So begin to make your way down onto your back into a supine position. Hug the knees in, trace some circles in clockwise and counterclockwise directions, massaging the low back and sacrum. So you want to decompress through the spine, bring it back into its neutral shape. Right knee in towards the chest, left leg will come out towards the floor. Point the toes, hug the right knee in, tightly close towards your chest. Open up the knee, grabbing for the arches of the foot. Let's come into some half happy babies. So opening as you breathe in, exhale, cross leg over to the other side. Inhale, open, maybe extend through that knee if you feel flexible. Exhale, we take it all the way across. And bring it back into center. We'll release the right leg down, left knee in towards the chest, right toes points forward. Big hug as you inhale, pull the left knee towards the left shoulder. Exhale, find compression, allowing the entire length of the spine to press down towards the floor. And we'll grab for the big toes or the arches of the feet. Bend the knee, open up half happy baby. Exhale, we take that leg across over to the other side. Inhale, peel open through the hips, maybe knee bends, or we can extend it out. Exhale, take that leg all the way across. Inhale, open, knee bent or knee straight. Exhale, over to the other side. One more time, half happy baby. And we return to center. Pick up the other leg, come into full happy baby. Both knees bent. Allow the soles of the feet to point up towards the ceiling. You're going to roll up and down the length of the spine a few times. Rocking side to side. All about spinal decompression and massaging at the sacrum, keeping the low back flat. And we'll bring the feet together, slowly reaching the arms up overhead, allowing your feet to drop out beside you. Arms will travel down beside the body, palms open. Begin to slow down your breath, relaxing the body. And then prepare for our final posture in Savasana or corpse pose. Allowing your body to take in all the benefits of this practice with you. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Moving slowly, absorbing the benefits of this practice and taking it with you into the rest of your day. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, yogis, for joining me in another practice. I hope it went well for you. Leave me a comment in the section below to let me know if you enjoy the practice, anything else you want to see or work on in the future. I hope you're enjoying your fall time, and I'll see you next time on the mat. Thank you and namaste.